So, Laku noc, good evening, good evening. This is Josefsky here in my little apartment in Belgrade. The place is an absolute tip right now. I'm going to Spain tomorrow. I haven't packed. I don't even have a hotel yet for tomorrow evening, but I think I found accommodation for at least some of the rest of the week. So, in this live, I'm going to discuss feminine pride. I'm going to discuss what is feminine pride, what's the point of it, what does it do, what purpose does it serve, what do you need to know about it as a man. I'm going to discuss comfort as well as attraction, because that's a very important, it's something that's totally missing in the manosphere, or mostly missing as far as I can see. I'm going to do a quick review of the Balkan babes. Review of the whole region, the last 4 or 5 months, and then I'm going to talk about plans also for the next few months. So let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into the meat. I'm a little bit late on today because I was speaking to a girl. I was speaking to a girl in a different country, and she called me. Why did she call me? She called me because she needs comfort. She called me because she needs comfort, and I was like, okay, fair enough. I've not spoken to her for a few days. She needs some comfort and reassurance that this guy actually gives a shit about her. So I spoke to her for like 20 minutes. I said, babe, I've got to go. I've got to go. I've got things to do. So yeah, the female need for comfort. There's a massive focus online. The more I, engage with online, it is a mixed blessing in the sense that there is stuff that you can learn online. There's stuff that you can learn from people in the space of men's relationships. But I would say, like, really, literally 90% of it is mostly misinformation, or just guys who they're just not experienced. They just don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, and so this one in particular is one you just don't hear talked about. You hear all this discussion of value, which I think I've hopefully already established on the channel as it's a ridiculous concept to begin with. The way to think about value is the way that we think about looks. Yeah, looks are basically 1 or 0. Is she fit enough to be in my bed with me, and is she fit enough to show my mates? That's basically what it is. She might pass the first one, but not the second one. But is she fit enough for both of those things? If the answer is yes, she's fit enough. Basically, for most men, like realistically, that's what you're filtering for. Is she fit enough to be in my bed, to get my dick hard? Is she fit enough for me to show to my friends? If it's tick tick, then she's fine. Yeah, she's not going to get usurped. If you're an adult man, she should not get usurped by some other hot girl who just comes along who's hotter, provided she's got all these other qualities that you want, right? And it's the same for girls. Like, your value, are you good enough? Like, you're pretty decent, you have something going on, you're like in pretty good shape, like you got some good social skills. Okay, you're valuable enough, that's fine, tick tick, or a combination of those things. So yeah, that whole thing is just bullshit. And there's so much chat about attraction with women. And I know this because I kind of bought into it myself for a little while. Not so much I was more about getting them hot in clubs. I knew how to get girls turned on. I thought, well, if I can get them turned on, then they're pretty much mine, aren't they? Casanova. You're right, bro. How's Barca going? But yeah, there's all the chat about online about attraction. How attractive are you? Do you turn the girl on, or are you valuable enough? And all these types of things. That's all fine, but that's only one side of the equation. Being attractive is only one side of the equation. If you're offering 0 comfort to the girl, she will leave you. She will leave you quite quickly, probably within 6 weeks. Yeah, as she should, because they need both sides of the equation. Like, what use of it is it realistically to a woman to be banged, if she's got half a brain, to be banged now, spaffed up by some super giga chad who is mewed out of his mind, yeah, but who, like, he's gone, he's fucked off. She's got no comfort with him. He's disappeared, yeah? Now she's left with his scion. She's got to raise in the wild on her own, so she's fucked. So I think instinctively they do need some comfort. This is something that they majorly disguise from us as well as men. Feeling really high value on Los Ramblers. Trying to save you a toothpick. Oh, mate. Yeah, some any Moroccan drug dealers out there. Yeah, fucking hell. They'll be selling fairy dust in those baggies on Las Ramblers. But yeah, so I'm just talking here about comfort with the ladies. It's something they need. It's something that's just not talked about enough. We're talking about actual relationships really more. On the first attractiveness point, they don't need much comfort if you're just wanting to bang them, obviously. Some girls will even need a little bit of comfort before you even have sex with them, to be honest, but in general, they don't. It's more in the aftermath that they do. So, yeah, how do you give a girl comfort? Well, that is basically attention, attentiveness. It's like basic things like, I know this sounds stupid, but she should never fucking pay for her own taxi home. That should never fucking happen. That should literally never happen. To me, that's just weird. It's like you'll complete the journey. She comes to you, you order the Uber. Then when she leaves to go back, you also order that. That's a really simple thing, but it's like that should just go without saying, in my opinion. It's like 10 quid. Do you know what I mean? Other things you can do as well. Just something simple. You're walking down the street. It's a really simple thing. There's some drunken cunts over there to your left-hand side on Las Ramblas, or there's some Moroccan fucking drug dealers over there. You just move her inside to you. She's there now. Yeah. So if there's a drunken person who comes, you're just chilling. You're walking with her. You're there. You should just do that on autopilot. Little things like that. That should honestly be autopilot. Just as a mental note, you don't have to be hard. So you don't have to be a tough guy. You just have to be willing to put your body in the way of harm in front of the girl. Yeah, that's a good concept. I'm talking more about relationships on this live. We could talk about that. I actually don't know with that one, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is more about relationships. This one. So what else can we in terms of comfort? It's essentially there's a fear of abandonment that they have, which like a little bit. They do need a little bit of that to keep it exciting for them and to keep it a bit of a challenge for them. But at the same time, let me say, for example, if you think you're seeing a girl, you're shagging on a regular basis, if that's been going on for more than 6 weeks, you're fucking delusional if you think the girl is not gonna likely catch feelings for you. All this like casual blah blah blah, seeing you, all this bullshit, it's complete garbage. It's literally total fucking garbage. The reason I know is I probably don't know anyone who's tried to do this more than me. So I know it's garbage. Like, I almost pathologically refused to acknowledge you need to either be in a relationship or you need to be single, just 1 month maximum trial. Yeah. I pathologically refused to accept that. And I always wanted to be in the gray zone all the time, where you kind of get a bit of romance, you have a bit of that, and then you have the sex, but you never really commit to the girl. I've done this so much, I know how fucking stupid it is. So when I say it's stupid, the main person I'm criticizing is myself. It's so fucking stupid, and it's literally so retarded. So it's just there is no future in it. There is no future in it. So what I say is like 5 to 6 weeks trial max. And if you're not interested in pursuing something at that point, I'd step away. The hard thing is for guys, because sex can be hard to come by. Yeah, it's hard to do. If she's a girl who she's like a 7.5 or something, she's actually satisfying you. But you know she's not the one you want. It's actually hard to step away from that. That's when you've got to man up again. Manning up doesn't end after the approach. Yeah. it just that in a way that's where it's just starting. That's where it's just starting. So um, yeah, I would say if a girl's sleeping with you like week in week out, and she doesn't have any feelings for you at all, that it could mean a few things. It probably means she just purely sees you as dick, and it also means she's also probably had her heart broken a few times already. Because a normal girl's not coming out of the gate like that most of the time. Um, a girl will usually see you as dick for maybe a month, and then if they're normal, they should move on. SB, what's up? What's up? She needs to be invested. Absolutely, yeah. She needs to be invested. Yeah. That should be normal. To me, that's normal though. Like, I can't imagine chasing a girl around who wasn't investing in me, to be honest. So ways that she can invest. First of all, when she comes to see you, is she trying to impress you with how she's dressing? Is she bringing a nice presence into your life? Um, is she attentive to you in conversation? When you call her in the week, is she basically making herself available for you to speak to her, as something as a priority? Um, yeah, so those would be ways for that she should be invested in you. I agree on that front. A lot of girls like this is a thing for me. A lot of girls, I'll come on to feminine pride in a moment, but some girls don't want to show that they're investing because it's a pride thing for them, which is it's a bit of a battle of wills and a battle of pride. That's quite toxic in my opinion, but it just happens. And I kind of get it on their front. Like, they're probably less egotistical than me. So like, I kind of get it. They don't want to invest. They don't want to show their investment, but they may be invested already more than you think. You've been seeing a girl for a couple of months. She might be more invested than you think already. Yeah. So is there anything else in terms of comfort? Yeah, it's a constant back and forth between attraction and comfort. It's like attraction, like being an independent guy, being an attractive guy, having other girls attracted to you. That is attractive to the woman, but there's also a comfort thing as well, which is big. And it's that constant balance between the two. And the ideal for a woman is this guy who's he's kind of going in both ways. He's going in a little bit in both ways. So a friend of mine just said, we were just going back and forth. He said he put a picture on Instagram. And he actually put it on Instagram with a girl in mind, thinking that it would be kind of cool if this girl saw it because he thought he might have been losing this girl, basically. And then that kind of backfired, and it actually turned out that it didn't work out so well. I'm so stupid. I've done that at least 3 times that I can think of. So I knew exactly what was going through his mind, which was, this girl's maybe drifting on me. I don't know what's going on. Let me show a picture of myself on social media with another hot girl. That'll make me seem cool, won't it? That'll just remind her that I'm attractive to other women, won't it? Then she's going to come running back to me. And it's like, yeah, I say I'm mainly critiquing myself because I'm so stupid that I've done that multiple times. And yeah, in a sense, it does make them, like, it may remind them, but they probably already think you're attractive to other women anyway. If they're sleeping with you on a regular basis, your charms surely are not lost on them, of all people, right? So I've done that, and I remember there was one girl who I completely lost because of that, completely lost, who I almost put it out. This was a really weird one about 7 or 8 years ago. I put out, there's a photo, it was me dancing, it was a video of me dancing with a girl in Portugal. And I literally put it on social media. This was when Facebook was bigger. I put it on Facebook, and my goal in a way was to just show all the other girls I was seeing that I was doing this in Portugal. And the one girl I was interested in, I just thought it would like clear the air. Like, who is this guy? What's he doing? It's kind of obvious, right? It's right there. But the one girl I was interested in, she completely bounced. And me being dumb, I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. But I understand now, because she had pride in herself, and she's thinking, hold on. I'm a PhD student. She was attractive. She was from Colombia. She was a PhD student. She's like, I'm not going to be this guy's fucking hoe. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't blame her. Good for her. She should have left me. I was being fucking stupid. Yeah. Um, I should have just kept that stuff to myself. Yeah. I should have kept it to myself. I wanted to almost, in a way, show what I was doing to see who would be left in a way. And the one I actually was interested in, she fucked off. Um, this has happened to me like multiple times. And then even girls in clubs where I was a promoter. I remember one girl I liked, and then she was into me, and she was kind of like, but then she kind of back off. I was like, what is going on with this girl? Um, and then eventually, yeah, I had a one night thing with her, and I thought it was going to go on to be more than that. And I see her out the next week, and she's got a new boyfriend, like a full on boyfriend. I said to one of her friends, I was like, what the fuck is going on with this girl? She goes, she just thinks that you are going to offer like no comfort of a boyfriend at all. But she was attracted to you. And then eventually she's just like, I'll just shag him and then I'll just use him for sex and then I'm gonna get with this guy. So that was like an interesting experience for me as well. Like it was around that time, about 31, 32. It's the first time I'd been used for sex by a woman. I thought it was only men that did that. Women do it as well. It was actually really cool. It was very flattering to be on that side of things. It was like, wow, they actually see me in that way. This is what I always wanted, you know. But it's weird when it happens because I wasn't expecting it at all. Um, and then after that, I'm just kind of like, well, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not a great achievement, really, is it? It is one of those things. Um, but yeah, I offered those girls there. I offered them no sense of comfort, and I actually attacked their need for comfort. I actually shat on it by being so stupid to post something on social media or to be so obvious what I was doing in clubs when they're around and stuff. So I actually literally viciously attacked their need for some kind of a comfort. I don't know what that equivalent would be like for a guy. It might be the same for a guy. Like if you saw a girl who was like, she was aggressively posting like crazy selfies on Instagram, or she's got guys around her and stuff like that, you'd probably be thinking, my need is for sexual exclusivity from the woman. Otherwise, there's not even any point me. I'm not even interested. Like if you're not even loyal, like why the fuck should I? I'm biologically compelled not to be loyal, yeah, by my millions of sperm, but I'm willing to do it. But if you're not, then fuck that, you know. So from a guy's point of view, maybe it's the equivalent to that. We don't want to shit on their need for comfort. That actually, you can still play the field actually and still semi give them a little bit of that comfort. You can do it a little bit as long as you give them enough to like provide them a little where they can spin a story in their mind. Yeah, they'll do that, man. They'll do that. It's not really my scene these days to do that kind of thing though. I just have too much of a fucking conscience to be like the ultimate player. Maybe it's because I'm old as well. I'm 39. Well, I've got a friend he's still on this track. I left it a couple of years ago because there's just one too many things that I caused to happen that were just not good, and I didn't have the soul for it anymore. But I've got a good friend who's still in it, and he just gives them enough comfort they can spin something in their mind, you know. So yeah, comfort versus attraction. It's big, man. It's really big. Don't think it's all about attraction. It really fucking isn't. And actually, a girl will actually give you like better sex and better everything if she can feel some comfort there as well. Yeah, she will. That's that balance of comfort and attraction, strength and sensitivity. That is what is going to make the girl fall in love with you. Those two things. You can't just be some sensitive fucking yoga teacher, right? Also, you can't just be a straight fucking, this straight complete badass who just bones her and then doesn't talk to her. Like that's not going to work either, right? It's got to be both of the things: comfort and attraction, strength and sensitivity. If you dance that line nicely, they're always going to basically fall in love with you, or many girls are going to fall in love with you, and that's what ultimately guys are looking for. They are looking to find the woman who actually falls in love with them, right? So yeah, hopefully I've covered that. Female pride. This is another one. This is a first. This is a first on. I'm like so hyped on caffeine right now because I don't know, I've just been hanging around the coffee shops all day today. But I'm going to steam through these topics. Female pride. I think this has never been discussed in the manosphere ever. So I'm going to discuss it now. Female pride, feminine pride, right? Women have a major sense of pride in their ability to captivate men, in their ability to capture your attention, to sexually arouse you, to fascinate you, to allure you, and to keep you coming back, to keep you coming back. They have major pride in this, right? And it's not really talked about. It's not really talked about enough. I remember being 22. I was living in Madrid. There's a group of girls that I met up, two of them on my first night. It's crazy, well, a bit of a side tangent, but I went out on my first night and I nearly pulled a threesome. I pulled two girls back on my first night out in Madrid solo. It was one of my all-time great performances. I was so fucking completely out of my element. And there was just two girls stood next to me in this bar. I started talking to them. Ended up bringing them both back to my fucking place. And then they were mates. So I was like, I don't know what happens here, but I'm going to get them both on the sofa and just see if I can pull it off. And I ended up pulling one of them and stuff. Then the other one, I think she fell asleep or pretended she was asleep or something like that. But anyway, it didn't turn into a threesome. But these two girls, basically, yeah, so kind of semi got with one of them on my sofa while her mate was asleep, but I didn't shag her. But anyway, these two girls, and then a couple of weeks later, they called me. They were out with two more girls. So then they called me up and they're like, "Oh yeah, come out." And I became this weird mascot for these girls. So I would go out if they came to the city centre because I lived in the city centre. They'd just call me and I'd be like, "Yeah, fuck, I'll go out. Yeah, whatever. I don't care if I've got work tomorrow. I'll just be out all night, whatever." And I got with another one of them as well, which was weird. She wasn't. She was like the least. She had the least attractive face with the best body. But anyway, whatever. Needs must. I was 22 years old, but I was like their little mascot, right? And they were all older than me. They were all like 25, 26. These Spanish girls, and I learned so much from hanging around with those girls, man. So fucking much because like I wasn't like there was a gay best friend, there was an actual gay guy, but I was kind of more like this curious foreign party guy who they would call up. And I was just always up for banter, like just going out and whatever. But just from their conversations, obviously it's four girls, and the Spanish girls are quite very feral, in fact. So I learned a lot from them during that I remember it so well. I always remember there was one time where there's a girl who one of those girls, she went home with a guy and she hadn't been laid for ages. She just wanted to shag. And and then she said something, she said to one of the other girls, "Have you got a condom?" Anyway, so she goes off with this guy. And then I think I saw her like the week later and she was pissed that this guy didn't ask for her number. And I was like, "Why'd you care? You just wanted to shag." And she goes, "Orgullo femenino." I was like, "Oh, feminine pride." It's the first time I'd heard her say that. And it's like it didn't mean that much at the time. I was like, "That's interesting." I didn't have a concept that they had pride, in a sense. She just wanted him to ask for her number, so she felt desired. Because even though she wanted to shag him, she still wanted him to ask for her number afterwards, and he didn't. This guy, he was a musician. He was part of a Madrid jazz band. But anyway, so that's a side tangent. But it was on pride, feminine pride. And then since then, it's something I've come back to many, many times. Like, they pride themselves on their ability to enrapture you, to gain your affection, your appreciation. And even if they know it's a casual thing, they still need a bit of appreciation. They still do. They still do. This was a big switch for me, and it was like this was after going through a phase of wanting to be the real gangster type of guy who was like, it's so stupid, but who was like, never pay a girl a compliment, never buy a drink, all this type of thing. That actually does work. You actually can still get the girls if you do that. You can. But I don't know. It's I found it things run a lot more smoothly and pleasantly over a period of time if you actually show them some appreciation, that you do feel attracted to them, that you do like think they're fucking cool, that you can't resist their body. Their body turns you into a savage animal that you just want to ravish them. Yeah. Um, you should be every time you see their arse, you should smack it essentially. If you're going out with a girl, um, you should kind of you'd be attacking them like a wolf every time you see them. But just that general appreciation, it just makes everything flow more smoothly, even if it is a casual thing. Even if it's a casual thing, and if something like, for example, if you get with a girl and like there's sometimes where it's like, especially the nightlife scene, it might be 5 a.m. You're going back to a girl's place and you can't fuck her just because your dick won't get hard because it's 5 a.m. for no other reason, right? I don't think they're specifically really designed to work between like the hours of 3 and 7 a.m., right? But and then you get going again in the morning, but like they'll often take that like personally. They're just like, oh, they're not attractive enough or whatever. They will take that personally. Yeah, feminine pride. Yeah, feminine pride. They pride themselves on being attractive. They pride themselves on being attractive. Yeah, and if you ignore them, that's also a hit to their pride as well. And also, if you've got other girls around as well that you're actually fucking and they know you're fucking them, I'm sorry, it's a hit to their pride. No matter what Andrew Tate says and all these people say, it's a hit to their pride. They might take it anyway. They might take it anyway. Obviously, with what they talk about online, there's an economic aspect. Like if you're a sultan, yeah, you got sultan level money. But for a normal girl, where you're not literally paying for their entire life, which would be a way to make up for that loss of pride. Yeah, they're going to take it as a hit on their pride. They're going to take it as a hit on their pride. So like we focus so much on value as men. We focus so much on that, and the internet does. Most of these guys have got no fucking clue what they're talking about. Even the ones who are probably a bit successful, I think they still don't even understand half the stuff, to be honest. And if you asked any woman about this, they would especially like an older woman who would just be honest with you, they would say 100% women have got pride in themselves and they want to be able to get this desire out of you. They even want to be able to manipulate you a little bit, They want to be able to manipulate you a little bit, maybe not totally, but they almost need to. They need to know they've got some kind of an influence over you. Otherwise, it's just like, am I just a block of wood to this guy? I think in nature they wouldn't survive if they didn't have the ability to at least manipulate us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's times where I know it's happening and I kind of let them do it a little bit. And I'm sure there's times they know I'm doing something to them, showing off or something. They just let you do it. There should be some understanding between the sexes in with these things. So yeah, is there anything else on female pride? Yeah, I mean this is the biggest one. A lot of women feel when their partner cheats on them openly, and a lot of people know about it. The biggest hit is to their pride. And I'm sure it's probably not that dissimilar to men, is it? But for a lot of women, it's really like a hit on their pride. So yeah, I've talked there extensively about female pride, feminine pride, and then comfort as well. What else did I have here? Sexual attraction. Yeah, female pride is linked to sexual attraction. So whenever a girl is near you, like especially once things start to get going, if you want to keep her around and you want her as a girlfriend, really like, first of all, you should be attracted to her anyway. But like, you should be. She needs sexual validation, man. She needs sexual validation, so you should be giving her that. The fact that she's hot and stuff like this, she should be getting that from you. Yeah, when I turned the corner with this is when I started to. I had this weird thing that I would do where I wouldn't pay the girl much in the way of compliments and things like that until after I'd slept with her, or till while I was sleeping with her, and then at that point I would kind of really go crazy on it, which actually does work as well. But I don't know. You don't want it to be some kind of an ego battle. which is definitely what I got into, which is just fucking stupid. Um, so you want to be lavishing sexual praise on them, or like, in some cases anyway. You can go if you go too far with it. Like I would say it's better to go a bit too far than not enough, in my opinion, on that one. Um, and often it's acted out. It's not like you don't need to say it. You just act out. You just grab the girl. You know what I mean? Like um, the girl I'm seeing at the moment, she said they remember these things, right? You think if you're seeing a girl, she doesn't remember every single time you slept with her. She doesn't remember the first time you slept with her, even the weird shit that you've just completely forgotten about. Like this girl I was speaking to, she remembered a time that I one of my friends came to visit, and so I was kind of just hanging out with my friend, and I wasn't paying her that much attention, but I was still paying her some attention and stuff. And then I think my friend went out onto the balcony, and then I just pushed her against the wall and just ravaged her against the wall a little bit, just snogged her against the wall aggressively. Like she remembered that. She mentioned it to me the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, I wish you'd do that even more." Like, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to get that beast out of you." Yeah, she said this, right? So it's like it's kind of cool. This girl says these things to me, but I've had so many conversations like this. I know they've got that pride. They want to bring that animal out of you. So let them do it, man. Let them do it. It's weird that we think it's the opposite, that we feel like society's made men ashamed of that. And it's like, and women, they're not going to literally tell you in most cases, like she did, but because she already knows I'm quite self accepting on this front. But like, they're not going to tell you this is what they want, but like they do. They do. Um, so yeah, there's lots of secrets basically on all this type of thing. It's a shame that this is all stuff that like a fucking, probably a Macedonian taxi driver would probably be able to tell you from like, he's like a 70-year-old, but it's all kind of been lost. Next up here, let's keep steaming forward. Cultural considerations. Cultural considerations. Let me take a quick break from the steaming forward, actually. SB, mate, what's going on? How are you doing? How is Lapland? Give me some Lapland chat. It's good to see you on the live, mate. Really good to see you. It's my last day in the Balkans today. I'm heading to Barcelona tomorrow. Gonna go meet some of the boys in the entourage. Just fucking take over Barcelona. Yeah, 6 months in the Balkans. So yeah, cultural considerations. So this is one again. So it's kind of like off the back of my mate's message, and one of the things you got to think about is in your culture, how much is sex worth? What's the price of sex to a normal girl? What investment do they feel in sex? In some cases, the culture is so promiscuous, and this it might be a good thing, to be honest. Maybe it's good that sex isn't really worth that much to them. It's just kind of like it's just a kind of baseless act, right? And if that's the case, they're going to kind of devalue it. It's not going. They probably really make out it's not a big deal. Oh, nice. A night solo tour through the forest. So you're guiding people through the forest at night. So this is SB, my wingman in Bosnia. He's knackered. Yeah, mate. It sounds like you're working your ass off out there. But it's great to have you on anyway. That's nuts, man. Doing tours through the forest. This is sick. This is a crazy thing about having a little mini YouTube channel. We've got boys all over the place. We've got boys from fucking Stockholm to Barcelona to Lapland on this live. But yeah, cultural considerations. How much does the girl value or devalue sex? If the girl is really devalue sex, she doesn't care at all. That's quite in a young woman. That's not that common, to be honest. The only girls I've seen who truly devalue sex I'd say the ones who do it the most, probably Americans, to be honest. It's actually quite bizarre, actually. It's actually quite strange. I I don't really deal with American girls at all, but I have like quite a few friends who do, and it's like it's actually bizarre. They're like trying to rack up numbers. It's actually fucking weird. It's like that's what we're trying to do, yeah. If you're trying to do that, like you will encounter no resistance, yeah. You're not going to encounter resistance to just getting railed. It's hilarious. Um, so yeah, so that'd be one side, and then you got European girls who, again, Spanish girls are complete fucking freaks. Like they're some of the most promiscuous girls of all time. Um, Actually, hanging around with those girls like actually put me off. Definitely put me off having a Spanish girlfriend. Um, I don't think I've been with one Spanish girl who was a maybe a virgin. I don't know. She had a picture of the Virgin Mary on her table, a bedside table, and she didn't like me to say the word Jesus. Like if I said Jesus, she didn't like it. Um, she had a ridiculously religious, like an absurdly religious name as well, which I won't say on the live, but it was ridiculous. So she was one extreme, but then, yeah, there was another. The other Spanish girls I got with were just complete freaks. But I don't. They devalued sex. They pretty much fuck anyone, and I don't know how much that really. I don't really know how much good that does them. To be honest, I don't know. Spain went through an incredibly liberal, like hyper liberal, hedonistic phase after the fall of Franco because everything was more contained under Franco. Definitely. Um, yeah. So people view Franco as like he was the worst guy of all time. He was a dictator. He was a dictator. And it was a controlled society. But yeah, and then it went in a different direction. When he died, there was this new move to the modern Spain, so this utopian Spain, right? And then what happens in the 80s? You have I think it was like the world record heroin overdoses, right? Because everything was just like all bets are off. Everyone's out in the streets. Everyone's fucking. Everyone's doing drugs. The amount of AIDS they had, the amount of heroin overdoses, like this is really well documented. If you're interested in the history of like liberalism or the history of Spain, this is a crazy episode because they went from, you know, controlled fascist and Catholic regime into the 80s. It was fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, all those musicians. There's like a whole generation of musicians and journalists that all fucking died of fucking heroin and AIDS. Basically, they were completely crazy. But that hedonistic spirit still continues today in Spain. It's super hedonistic, dude. Super hedonistic. The culture's super hedonistic, and in a way, it's cool, but it's quite crazy as well. And the girls was the most promiscuous that I'd ever seen. I moved there when I was 22. I'd never seen women that promiscuous. Um, like, not on that level. I thought it was awesome, to be honest. I was like, you're great. It's just, this is cool. This is easy. Um, let's have a look here. So, you've got a day off tomorrow. You can stay up. As far as crazy stuff. Been a while since I watched your live, man. Yeah. Mate, it's good. It's good. Lazy culture. um, Bruv, what is your culture, Richie? What would you say your culture is? That's quite an interesting question. Um, they're not actually lazy. That's also a myth as well. I'll say this about the Spanish. That's a big myth. They People think they're lazy. They're actually not, dude. I don't know an office in Madrid that closes before 7 p.m. would be ridiculously early. Most of them close at 9 p.m. They have a long lunch break, which is true. They have a 2 hour lunch break, but they close at 9 p.m. So actually, if you look at the hours that they work in Spain, it's about the same. It's about the same, actually. It's about the same as the UK, if not slightly more, to be honest. But because of the siesta, everyone thinks they're fucking lazy. Nah, they're really not. I would say they probably, to me, it's a sleep deprived culture actually, because they'll work till 9 p.m. and then they'll go out for dinner at 11 and they'll sleep for like 4 hours and then just get up the next day and they just do the same again. But they don't actually have a siesta at lunch. They just go for lunch and then Some of them, a lot of them go to the gym at lunchtime or just meet their friends for something at lunchtime. Um, but yeah, there's an impression that it's a lazy culture, but it's that's basically a Protestant aspersion on Spain. They're definitely not lazy. They're definitely not. Um, Quite hyperactive, the Spanish. Yeah, I think they're not. They're a bit like probably naive economically. I do think. I would say, but they're not lazy though. It's definitely yeah, that's a stereotype. Um, yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't. I'm pretty experienced with Spain. It's not something I would say about them. Maybe in the south of Spain, you might say that. You know, maybe I don't know. I've never actually lived in the south of Spain. That might still be preserved there. They may still actually have the proper siesta and stuff. But yeah, I've worked with a lot of students from Spain and like families and different things, and they're very motivated, dude. They're very motivated. Um, I don't think I've ever really seen a place that I thought was truly lazy, if I'm being honest. It's anywhere I've lived which I thought was truly lazy. I don't know. I think there's a myth. I think it's basically a myth. I don't think there's any culture which is truly lazy, actually. There may be some who, like the Americans, allegedly take it to an extreme, but I don't, you're not lazy if you only work like 11 hours a day. It's not fucking lazy, is it? You know? Um, yeah. Maybe the French, to be honest, but I wouldn't call them lazy. I just they do have like a societal belief of like we want to have a balanced life, but I wouldn't say they were lazy. But yeah, they do have a kind of societal belief of having a balanced life, which Americans could call lazy. Yeah. Um, so anyway, so let's get on with the. That was a good interlude though on the Spanish. So it's, yeah, in cultural considerations, I wanted to yeah, I did actually want to talk about cultural considerations on as insofar as dating. So I think I mentioned at the start there, like some cultures they don't really value sex at all. The women are encouraged not to really value sex, and consequently they won't. In other cultures, sex is really quite forbidden, and so if a girl gives herself to you sexually, it does actually mean something. If a girl also hasn't had that much sexual experience, again, it does actually mean something. So that will vary from girl to girl and from culture to culture. Um, for me personally, there's something just inherently repulsive about a girl who doesn't find sex to have any value. There's something about it which is just inherently quite repulsive. Um, I don't know what that is, but it's just purely, I would say, almost genetic in the same way that if I saw a shit on my plate, I wouldn't want to eat. It's kind of the same thing. It's like I remember there was a girl that I was seeing like years ago who she had a boyfriend who chipped out the city for quite a while, and then she started seeing me, and then he came back in, and then I could see I was like, okay, there's something going on with them two. But then I saw her one time, I think, going home with another guy or something, and I was like, she was still trying to keep me around, and I think I actually we were emailing of all things because I lost my phone, so she was emailing me. I literally said something to her. I was like, nah, I said something. I basically said like, look, yeah, you know, don't worry about me. I basically feel like, you know, like if like a dog came and it was just like licked your plate. That's how I feel about you at this point. I mean, I pretty much said it almost that bluntly. And it's like, you don't want to eat your fucking dinner after like two dogs have just come and licked it all. You're just like, oh, fuck that. I'm not interested. So I think there is something quite visceral in me that is just not it's not turned on by a woman who finds sex to be meaningless. Not that it needs to be the most meaningful thing ever. It's a kind of like it's somewhere in between, right? Um, like if I found sex to just be meaningless, I'd just order a prostitute tonight. Just why not? Just fuck a prostitute. And if it's Thursday night, there's nothing better to do. Or just go to a club, find the most grotty place of all, like find the grottiest girl ever, or just anybody, right? So even for me, sex does mean something. Like it still means something, you know. Um, and that obviously varies in context and situation and stuff like that. Um, it can mean so many different things actually. But yeah, so if a girl is like very devalued sex, it doesn't mean anything to her, then yeah, you're gonna kind of deal with her in one way. If sex is quite a big deal to the girl, that's a cultural consideration. So one girl might come and spend a weekend with you, and it might just be fun, right? It might just be like she's just enjoying herself. She doesn't really give a shit. Another girl might come and spend a weekend with you, and it might be like this is a really big deal for her. She's like messaging her friends, "I want to spend this weekend with this guy." You just never fucking know. And again, to go back to the female pride question, a lot of times they'll keep a poker face about it, big time. And you're thinking in your mind, like, this probably doesn't mean anything to them. And it actually does. Yeah, it actually does. And then in another case, you can think it means something and it fucking doesn't. It's super difficult to know because they can keep a poker face about both scenarios. We had Balthus the other day saying a girl came and spent a weekend with him, then messaged him afterwards saying she's completely in fucking love with him. And he's there thinking, this girl doesn't give two shits about me. Yeah, I've been in that situation. And it's like, you're surprised. You're like, what? It's because they're keeping a poker face. Yeah, it's pride. That's pride again. They've got a lot of pride, man. So we're dealing with all these layers. We're dealing with all these layers. It's not just what she's feeling, what she's experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. There's the front she's putting up. There's the front I'm putting up. There's just so many layers of bullshit. I think that's why actually after let's say if you've been seeing someone for a month, 6 weeks, let's say 6 weeks, let's be on the generous side, let's say a 6 week time period. I think you should have an open conversation at this point, like an open conversation. And this is something I wish I'd done in the past. So I'm kind of talking to my former self now, but I know this would have helped me with a lot of situations. It would have helped me even in previous relationships. Where my default was just never raise the question of it being a relationship ever. And then eventually, like, if they hang around long enough, I'll just start calling them my girlfriend. If they moan at me enough, then I'll just start calling them my girlfriend. So that was my default position, yeah? Terrible position. Terrible position. Stupid position on my part, yeah? Dumb. Completely stupid. I still basically did this with my last girl I was seeing last year. So again, stupid on my part. I'm a very slow learner. I'm a very big trier, yeah, but a very slow learner when it comes to this stuff. But eventually, like, I make enough mistakes enough times, I do eventually learn the lesson. Fuck me, how many times I need to make the mistake? But yeah, this one, 6 weeks, and just have a frank conversation with the girl in terms of, yeah, so this is where I'm at. My impression of you is this. I feel like I don't know if you're really. I don't know how into me you are. I don't feel like. I feel like you might be in love with me, or I feel like you're kind of indifferent to me, or I feel like we're getting along quite well. And XYZ. And you might find actually, if you lay it out to the girl, you may well find she goes, yeah, you know what, actually, I'm really having strong feelings for you. And you're there thinking, fuck, I didn't even expect that, you know. But there's like a way to do it. You don't do it in a needy way. You literally just do it to clarify what the fuck is going on. And you might even say to the girl, look, I don't really know you that well. My perception of you is that maybe you've had quite a lot of guys, or you've got a lot of guys at the moment, or that you've got a lot of guys chasing you. Because I'll see you on whatever social media, or just something I'm getting about you. And you may well find this is how fucked up the modern world is. There are girls, and again, there are girls who will literally pretend that they're hoes when they're not, when they're the complete opposite. How stupid is that? They pretend that they're hoes because they think it's cool. That's how fucked it's got. It's stupid. And then you take them as a hoe. And then you have some really emotional conversation with you, and you're like, "What? I thought you're pretending you were some kind of fucking quote unquote bad bitch. What the fuck's going on?" Turns out not at all. So there's even situations where that can happen. That's more an extreme one, but that can happen as well. So you want to lay out to them, yeah, this is my perception of you. This is where I'm at. You know, like, is my perception of you accurate? Yeah. If we're gonna like, let's just not fuck around. Like we're grown adults. What's right? What's true? What isn't true? You know, and then we can move forward, or we can move on, or whatever. But I would recommend doing that about the 6 week mark. Again, your balls do not just like, you don't just need them for the approach. You need them every point. You need the balls at that point. You might need the balls to leave the girl, or you might need the balls to say, okay, well let's move forward then. Um, this idea that you're just going to see girls indefinitely and have this like rotating harem, the harem. I mean, it's so fucking, it's so I mean, you can do it for a period of time, obviously. Obviously, I fucking did. It's going to wear you down mentally, at a minimum. Always going to distract you, always going to cause problems to the girls. Eventually, at some point, it's going to come to an end. Maybe you become a sultan and you marry 7 women. But I even saw in fucking Tate's interview the other day. He said he's done. He goes like, yeah, I'm just sticking with the women I've got at this point because he can't trust any new women coming in because they could be Mossad agents or fucking FBI agents or fucking whatever. Probably MI6 most likely. But anyway, that was quite interesting. But yeah, he's gone down that whole route of like having a harem. Yeah, if you've got that much money, you can pick a certain group of women and have that, like the Elon Musk scenario. Fine, that's just not real for most guys. It's not real for most women as well. Most women don't fucking want that. There's most women would rather have a normal husband than be one of Elon Musk's like fucking incubators. Do you know what I mean? Most women actually would. I'm not judging him. Like, if I was in his position, I'd probably have 50 kids. So I'm not judging him. But like, that's just not real for most people at all. At all. Um, so yeah, I talked about, yeah, they're just cultural things, how much the girl values sex versus devalues it, how much is the girl looking for a family, how much is she looking for a career, how much is she looking for, you know, love and affection. Is she in her natural feminine self, or has she been brainwashed and psyoped into thinking that she's a boss bitch or some stupid shit like that? The sad thing is, those women, they don't even know themselves because eventually they all fall apart anyway. You see it on it. It's a really heinous thing. I know I rant about the USA, but it's a really fucking disturbed culture. Yeah. So like, yeah, and this brings me perfectly onto the Balkans because it's cultural considerations. So yeah, let me review the Balkans now. So I've been, in the last 6 months, I've been living in Serbia, Bosnia, North Macedonia, Turkey, and then Serbia again. Turkey doesn't really count as the Balkans. I've heard some people say it counts, but it really doesn't. But anyway, it's pretty close by, Istanbul. And each of those territories has its own way of doing things. It's obviously the former Yugoslavia. I would say here, my impression is there is not even a comparable hookup culture to um, lazy USA. There's not even a comparable hookup culture to what you might have, let's say, in the UK, or to what you might have actually all over in many places, right? Um, of course it goes on. Of course it does. Of course, girls have got boyfriends. They're not just waiting till marriage. Of course, this is completely standard. And of course, people hook up on short-term things, sure. But I would say it's not even comparable to, like, I mean, I'm in central Belgrade. I've been on quite a few nights out and stuff. It's not even comparable to like a night out in Manchester. Not even comparable. From what I can see, a lot of the girls here who are hot, they'll have a boyfriend by the time they're about 24, 25. And then it seems that moves steadily towards marriage, where they get married in their late 20s or something. That seems to be the pattern. I've spoken to a lot of girls here, to be honest, a lot. And there's an element of cultural learning as well. How do they do things out here? Um, I would say if you're out here to try to score, I'd say maybe girls who maybe they've already had a failed situation. Maybe they're in their 30s, they've already had a failed situation. It's kind of like they're up for it. Or on the younger end, 18 to 22, that's also a good timeline as well because that's when they're looking to have some experiences. Maybe 18 to 24. Um, that 24 to 30, that's been my most. I think a lot of the girls, I say pretty much most of the girls I've spoken to in that age group were either had boyfriends or they gave an impression or even they said something. They were looking for something serious. Yeah, the nightlife in the streets. Yeah, to be honest, Manchester actually, Rishi, Manchester nightlife it can be quite dangerous to be honest. There's actually one city like I'm not a shrinking violet, but I'm like walking through Manchester at night. I've been on like, Friday and Saturday nights, and it's like I definitely have my wits about me. Yeah, um, it's much edgier than it's much edgier than Sheffield, much edgier than Liverpool actually. Um, it's quite a brooding, dark energy to it. I just go to the dance nights. I go to the Latin nights, the Kizomba nights. Yeah, London, you've got nice places to head to. Um, there will be like a really nice part of Manchester. Yeah, like, I think it's like is it like Alderley Edge or something? That's like on the outskirts, posh people go to and stuff like that. There'll be places like that. The Man United footballers hang out. But yeah, central Manchester's pretty fucking rough. It's very rough actually. Um, I think a lot of the girls you see out there in the day, they're not really at those clubs at night. They're not really at those clubs at night. I don't know what they do at night. There'll be some area that we've not been to. They'll be heading to. Um, so yeah, SB, if you're still on, I'd be interested in your interpretations of Bosnian girls in particular. Is what I said true there? Was my impression accurate? Is that the pattern? It's sort of like about mid-20s, they start to find the long-term boyfriend who then becomes the husband by about 30. That was the pattern I seem to be seeing. And I feel that as a general pattern, of course, they still hook up and stuff like that in some girls in some circumstances. But as a general pattern, they seem to date more, almost I would say actually in a maybe a very more natural way. Like they should probably be dating like that. It's in their best interest to date in that way. Um, so yeah, like if you're wanting to hook up like with like 500 chicks, I probably wouldn't say the Balkans, to be honest. I wouldn't say. If you're wanting to get a girlfriend, good. You can hook up with someone for sure, but it's not like it's not going to be a complete piece of piss like it is in the UK. Um, yeah, a lot of 20s lately. Um, you see so many on the late 30s. So your late 30s, do you see a lot of these girls in their late 30s and they're still single? It's obviously you're a man, so it's different. You can still meet a 25-year-old. Yeah. Okay, so there's some in their late 30s unmarried. This is what I'm questioning about the Balkans because I'm like, it's weird because I see the girls and they're sultry and they're sexy. And I see the guys and they're complete fucking alpha males in terms of their physiques, in terms of everything. They dress fucking well. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is going on with these people? I don't see enough interaction between the men and the women. It's I find it a bit I find it bizarre to be honest with you. I do find it quite bizarre. Obviously, there's the ones who get their boyfriends, but as a general pattern, I'm looking at my these people are good-looking people. They should be they should be ripping each other's clothes off like barbarians. I don't see any of that. Um, yeah, in terms of daytime approach, I've not seen a single guy from this region doing it. The only guy I even know, the girls in the lost causes 30 seem to be lost causes. Well, I'm interested in this though because it's like you're saying that they're going right the way through, right? So they're going through their 20s and 30s. What are they doing? Are they having boyfriends? Are they getting shagged? Because my impression is they're like, there's part of me I wonder. I'm like, do they just not have much of a sex drive? These women. And that's what I find bizarre. Um, or are the guys not leading enough? The guys are not aggressive enough, so then that doesn't bring it out of the women. I think that's my interpretation. I think the guys are like not. They're putting all their aggression into the gym. They're not putting it into the women enough. Um, yeah, my theories about the Balkan sexual dynamics, the sexual marketplace. Um, the guys seem very confident, but I just don't see them being forward enough. Like it's fucking bizarro to me. I really don't get it. But maybe they just don't want to. I don't know. I don't get these people. It's like the Italian version of those guys would be running through everything that moved. On the Italian women of these women would be she'd be banging somebody. Same with Latina. Uh, I would even same with Turkish, to be honest. Yeah, the Turks are pretty horny freaks as well. Um, there seems to be something restraint, or there's a certain calmness. They're not as fussed. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. In a way that can make it quite good for approach though, because they're quite surprised. Um, so let me go through country by country. So Serbia, Belgrade. I would say I was here September, October. In terms of like, I've just talked about the dating culture there, but in terms of just the actual, just focus on the women because that's what people are interested in. Anyone watching this is a dating channel. I am the wing bro. In terms of the women, I think the women are very hot in Serbia. I think they're very hot. I I yeah. I almost wish they weren't as hot as they actually are because I'm leaving tomorrow and the sun's just come out again today and it was like holy shit, the flowers have just all come out again. It's crazy how much happier you feel when you see that beauty out in the street. So in terms of looks, I can't really fault them, to be honest. There's a lot of fit women here. They pride themselves on their looks. They're super elegant. There's loads of them who go to the gym. They've got a good energy to them. A sort of, they've got a good energy to them. Um, yeah, I think a lot of them will be good girlfriends. I think if you found like a wife here, I think you could really find a genuine wife who couldn't even imagine cheating on you, actually. I think that a lot of these girls, like, because there's some I've approached with who've got boyfriends and stuff, and they do find it flattering, but like, it's way out of their imagination to imagine giving me a contact. And like, they just, no way. Whereas there's Western girls who definitely will, even if they've got a boyfriend. These girls is like, or they'll even be tempted. These girls, it's like, they won't even countenance it. It's like it's outside their reality. Um, and so I've been knocking on the doors with some of those, and it's always I've never had a girl out here who's got a boyfriend give me her contact, and I've asked some of them. Never happened. Oh no, actually one in Macedonia, but I think she was quite innocent. I think she kind of didn't get it. She didn't get I was macking her as much as I was. She invited me out with her and her boyfriend, which is funny. But yeah, I think she was just so innocent she'd even get it, to be honest. Um, so yeah, so looks wise, they're really good. Personality wise, they're good. I think wife material wise, they're also good. Hookup wise, I think you can also do that as well. You'll find them here. Definitely. Um, they're quite subtle with the signals they give you and stuff, though. I think a Bosnian girl I met, she gave me quite good tips. She goes, "Look, yeah, they're hypocrites. The girls here are hypocrites. You have to be super persistent. They want it, but they want you to be persistent." Um, and I that's been my impression as well. That's been my impression. So for us arrogant Western guys, like we used to easier girls, that's probably like, you know, that's like a bit of a weird thing because we're used to the back and forth. We don't want to be too persistent because then we come off as a fucking rapist. But to our girls, but actually that's what the girls are looking for out here. And not obviously a rapist, but like someone who's more persistent. And I think that was really good advice. That's what I've seen in clubs actually succeeding. That's quite interesting. Um, so yeah, you can hook up as well, but I don't think it's as easy and crazy as it is the UK, where it's just piss, um, or it's relatively piss anyway, or Spain or whatever. So that's Serbia. Um, is there any downside? Yeah, what I will say has been a downside. February, fuck me. I struggled this month. I did 2 weeks. I did 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean London might be a bit difficult, but bruv, UK chicks are fucking. It's piss, dude. It's piss. You got women from all over the world there. It's piss, dude. They all go out and get shit faced. It's not that difficult. Um, you did get stuff from UK Cold Approach, but you're hanging out in London, bro. London fucking sucks. If you went out to Manchester every weekend, I mean, you were early on in Manchester, and you got quite a few numbers. And I remember you got a girl from Sheffield in that immersion in that weekend in Manchester. You know, yeah. I think your vibe would go down very well in other parts of the UK. London, yeah, it's a different. Um, Yeah, but that was just the one-off. Yeah, that's just the one-off weekend. You got to be on the scene on a consistent. Yeah, they all flaked. Yeah, yeah. Your approach wasn't that great there, to be honest, mate. I think your approach is probably better now. I remember I said you've been too side on. I could see your approach was still not where it needed to be. You were quite early on. I think you'll have got a lot better since then, in my opinion. Like you were going in at that point. You in this weird phase where I'm like, this guy's going in, but he's not really in. It's like you're in, but you're not really in. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think we talked about it at one point, but if you continue to go out there, especially with the beard and like the updates you've got, I don't think you have any trouble. Um, yeah, but you found your haven now anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you can get chicks in the UK though. You know what? Maybe it just varies from person to person. Maybe it just varies from person to person. But what I will say in the UK, it's not like a culture that is ashamed of hooking up particularly. There's not a shame over getting laid in the UK. You're not going to be labeled whore that much. Like maybe you will a bit, but not that much for most chicks. Um, Especially as well if you're out on the scene as well. It's you know yeah, the good thing about being out on a scene where it's more of a regular thing is at night time is it's such a long shot just going in on a one-off approach. Like there's a reason it took a performing magician to revive this art form. There's a reason for that. Yeah. Because it's such a long shot compared to just like you go out every week, they see you in the club every week. The third time they see you, you shag them, whatever. It's yeah. Scandi ones do, exactly. Um but yeah, I would say anyway, my observation is the approach out here in Serbia, that culture does not exist to the same level. No way, not even close. No way, no way. I mean, I'm sure they're very passionate and stuff behind the scenes, but the culture of it, no way. I think he got with someone out here, and I remember him saying, he was like, yeah, it was weird. She gave me her number and was totally like, almost looked completely disinterested. And then later on, she came and met me. And that would fit with what that Bosnian girl told me about. She was from Bosnia, but she lived in Serbia. So that's my review of Serbia. The other thing I will say as well, like this month with the rain and stuff, I went out to the mall, did some approaches in the mall the first couple of weeks, and I got quite demotivated. It's first time for a long time. It's happened last February as well. Maybe it's a February thing. I just got demotivated. I was like, I don't have anything else left in the tank. I'm completely done. I've got no more approach in me at all. And I think it was a combination of doing too much solo in so many different places. And I do think there is like the weather does make it a lot less appealing. The girls aren't out looking as sexy as much. And you got to go to the mall, and I think the last thing I'll say as well is there's a scowling face that you see with Serbians, which I don't know. It's sometimes if you see a few too many scowls, or for me anyway, if I see 20 scowls in a morning, it's not. It's like an actual scowl on their face where they look aggressive, and I'm like, do I want to open it's like going up to try to pet an aggressive looking dog. I'd rather just pet one that looks like it wants to be petted. So there's that as well. The Bosnian girls have got that as well. Um, and so like it's a very interesting one because when you're not quite feeling on it, they're not going to bring you into it. Their look is not going to bring you into it. You're going to have to feel on it, and then you're going to have to bring them into it, which is what I was doing for 6 months. But then just this last couple of weeks, just went off the boil. But I did notice today, like the mojo came back a bit today. Did I do any approaches today? No, I didn't actually. I didn't. It's a work day. The only thing I did, which is another thing. Well, I'll come back to that in a moment actually. But yeah, so that's a downside to the Balkans. Like it can get if you're solo, those scowling faces after a while, it can kind of like it looks very unwelcoming, you know. And you kind of like, okay, let's go, you know. But you can run out of steam with that. So that's Serbia. That's my review. Overall, good chicks, and I'll probably come back. I probably will come back. I need a break from it for sure, but I would really love to come back. I like the place in general. It's fucking cool. So Bosnia, on to Bosnia. So I was there in November and December, told Bosnia, Sarajevo, and first thing is first, yeah. Those Bosnian chicks shocked me. They shocked me. Truly shocked me. That was those were the blondest, most blue-eyed girls I've ever fucking seen. Some of those Bosnian girls. I'd never seen chicks that were that blonde with that blue eyes. And I was expecting them to be Turkish looking. I'm like, Bosnia. Albanian girl. She's like, she's about to kill you. You know what it is with the Albanian girls, though? For me, physiologically, they're very fine. So even if they've got a scowl, I just find them quite funny looking. I like they entertain. The Serbian ones, they've got that crazy skull on them. So when they're looking aggressive as well, it's like fucking hell. Jesus Christ, I need to be a literal I need to have a literal club with me on this. Yeah, so yeah, the serious faces in Bosnia can get repelling even to me. I mean, fortunately, because I'm from Sheffield, there's quite a lot of that in Sheffield as well. And the Sheffield girls are some of the most rude girls that I've ever met, actually. So actually, the Bosnian girls, while they might be a bit cold, they won't just straight up curse you out like a Sheffield girl would, or some of the English girls would, especially if they're drunk. Yeah. So actually, like it doesn't. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think I just ran out of steam. You know, fucking hell. I've been approaching every fucking weekend, almost as an experiment in ridiculous context, like ridiculous. But yeah, to go on to Bosnia, those blonde girls were crazy fucking blonde with blue eyes, and we talked about this SB. The reason why, the historical reason why that part of Yugoslavia preserved its where would it even be? Like, I don't know, probably North European origins or Russo-Ukrainian origins, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, I was really shocked by that because I was expecting them all to be Turkish looking, and these like pure fucking white skin, crazy blonde hair, crazy blue eyes. So I was very shocked by that first of all. Yeah, apparently according to SB, it was because I think this would make all the sense based on everything I've read about the history, because the Turks had a lot more problems with Serbia. Serbia were a lot more rebellious, a lot more difficult to deal with, so they end up killing a lot more guys, crucifying a lot more guys, raping a lot more women, which you can literally see it. It's quite crazy. You can see there's tons of brunette, kind of almost Latina looking Serbs, and they're kind of like a half thing between Bogomils. I'm gonna have to look those up. They're Bogomils. This is a population group I need to do more research on. Um, but yeah, the Bosnian ones, they were like they preserved their European features because they just said to the Turks, like, yeah, whatever, like, what religion is this? How many gods? One god. Oh, well, it's the same, isn't it? Oh, what? All right, okay. Well, we have to build a mosque. All right, we'll go there. We'll go there on a Friday. We'll go to church on a Sunday. We'll go to synagogue on a Saturday. Whatever, you know. Like, so they played the game, which meant they didn't get the same type of treatment. That book that I read, actually, Bridge Over the Drina, it kind of went into some of this stuff. The interesting thing about Bosnia is how much it's been subjected to all these different regimes, and there's nothing you can fucking do because that place is indefensible. Sarajevo, you can't defend it. It's impossible to defend. Like, you're surrounded by hills on all sides. So everyone has got an advantage. Anyone who attacks you en masse, you're really fucking struggling. You're really struggling. I don't know how they fucking held out, to be honest, in the 90s. I don't know how the fuck they held out, to be honest. Because all, like, anyone else who comes in, they go to the hills, they hide in the hills, they come and fucking kill you. And they can just do that forever. And eventually they're going to get you. So yeah, they've been subjected to so many regimes. So I think they just learn with the Austro-Hungarians, the Ottomans. They just learn, like, well, who are these guys? Okay, we'll fucking deal with these guys. Okay, what do you want us to do? Fine, we'll do it. How much tax do you want? Oh, that's fine. We'll carry on. So I think that's part of the history. But it's interesting, you see, even in the population's physiology. So yeah, so the blonde hair, blue eyed girls, that was a shock to the system. There's obviously the Turkic looking girls as well. A lot of fucking attractive girls in Bosnia. There were definitely some. I think I noticed when I was approaching larger groups, that was when I got that more cold, bitter, harsh reaction from them. But it was nothing, it was not as bad as what I've seen in, what I've had in the UK. Generally speaking, okay reactions. I was doing it all solo there, apart from that one weekend with SB. I think the best girl I met was I had an instant date with a girl from, I think she's from Morocco. She was super fucking attractive. I had an instant date with her, and then I thought I was gonna. I was like, oh, I'm gonna start seeing this girl, guaranteed. Then she just fucking disappeared, So that was a weird one, but yeah, it was like kind of an experiment, I fucking approached outside the mosque and stuff out there solo. So it's quite a fucking way. It's quite a way from Manchester to be doing cold approach. Um, Anything else I'd say about the girls? Generally quite friendly. Honestly, generally quite friendly, quite good. Um, I saw a lot of, like, yeah, there was a lot of couples and stuff there. I always felt like Bosnia was a bit more romantic, actually. I felt that Bosnia was a bit more romantic than Serbia. That was my impression. And I also discovered a place hidden in the hills. I think it's on the Serbian side of Bosnia, on Republika Srpska, called Banja Luka, which me and SB may be visiting at some point. I'm actually fairly up for that. Um, those two girls that we met, fuck me, if they all look like those two. But I mean, just be cool to visit anyway. It's like a fairly mythical place with, like, apparently the hottest girls in Bosnia are in this one city called Banja Luka, which I'd actually be up for visiting. Um, anything else on that? I think that's pretty much it for Bosnia. I don't think there's much else I'd say there. I could have stayed a bit longer. I only left because I went to Istanbul to meet my mum and my friend in Istanbul and have Christmas in Istanbul, which was sick. But I could have stayed a bit longer. Um, yeah. And then, yeah, Istanbul, plenty of approach there as well. That's like a whole video to itself, to be honest. I think I did 3 videos on that. So yeah. Um, that again, it's the type of place where I think I'd want to stay a while to sort of understand the dynamic a little bit. Like, it's kind of hard to throw yourself into these places, but I want to understand the dynamic a little bit. but I threw myself in to the extent I could. I definitely, just got some all right numbers and stuff, and or maybe mainly Instagrams actually. Um, and then yeah, then North Macedonia, on to North Macedonia, which was very good, attractive girls. Um, I think like all these places are going to be better in the summer. I think they're all going to be better in the summer. Like I felt like I was just scratching the surface in the winter. But I remember my first weekend in North Macedonia. I went in and I think I did about 10 approaches and got like I just really I got like six numbers in a weekend or something like that. I was trying to rack up the numbers and contacts and stuff. Even remember approaching a girl in a bookshop, um, and yeah, getting her contact. And it was just really cool because like when I was last there 2 years ago, I couldn't even do daytime approach then. And since I worked with Christian, I just turned into a complete fucking beast. It's no joke, man. You go in North Macedonia, going getting six numbers in a weekend or six Instagrams in a weekend. It's not. It's like it's not. It's normal, but it's not normal there. No one's doing that. No one is doing that. Absolutely no one. Um, and that was the first weekend, the second weekend, the third. I did 3 weekends out there, and it was like I went hard pretty much there. I think that was like the end of my run actually, and then got into Serbia for a month. I did a 1 weekend out at the mall, couple weekends out in the mall. I think by the second weekend I was cooked. I was like, no, I'm done. I've done. I've got nothing. I don't even want to be out here, to be honest. But I was just forcing myself. So yeah, my overall review of the region would be good quality women, be very good quality wives and girlfriends. I think. I don't think they're super easy at all. Um, and like anywhere, it just depends on that individual woman. You could have 10 bad runs, and you could see that one girl, and she could be the hottest one, and you could just fucking fly to the moon with that one girl. So that would be that would be my overall take so far in the Balkans. Um, I'll probably be hitting Albania later this year. I think that's probably what I'm going to do after I've been to the UK. Um, Maybe go back to Bosnia. I don't fucking know. I need a break from it though. I need a break from it. Um, so yeah, that's my review. The last point on this is just the weather, man. The weather makes a big fucking difference. Today was the ass that was out today in Belgrade was fucking insane. Fuck me. Tremendous, really good. And I know this is just a taster, so it kind of makes me think maybe I should come back here in the summer. Everyone's saying don't come back here in the summer because it's too hot. But I was like, maybe that's a good thing. Um, there's just something about Serbia that I like, Bosnia, all these places. I can't explain why I like them. It doesn't even quite make sense. I think the people are quite gritty, which I like. I like that. I think they're honest and like decent people as well. For the most part, obviously, there's even the gangsters. I kind of like. I kind of like the way they're gangsters as well. It's not like it's a more obvious way as opposed to like the slimy fox in whatever. Yeah, yeah, I would say so. I would say so. So I think really, you learn all these things, don't you? So I think for me to make the most of it, probably come back this summer. Um, have you been down to Albania, SB? Been down to Tirana or down to the beaches in Albania? So yeah, maybe I'll come back and do more. Yeah, dude, the difference today was nuts. The difference today was nuts. Actually, let me just talk you through what I did today. Actually, like this is just for posterity in my life because hardly anyone on at the moment. But we're all approaching women, right? Whatever. Want to get women. I've been approaching this year mainly to test myself and to improve so that I can actually coach people, which I'm very confident that I can. But the other the other thing as well that we're missing, dude, like you need male friends. You actually need male friends more than you need women because women are going to come and go. Women are going to come and go. You're going to get women. you're gonna get women. And actually, the more boys you got, if you got three or four good boys with you, you are definitely gonna get women. There's no doubt about it. Like, you want to actually recruit the wingmen first. Wing bro is here, yeah. You want to recruit me first, and then you will definitely get the women. You're out there as a solo operator. You're making it 100 times harder for yourself psychologically, and even within the reception of the girl. Of course, you can do it alone, but it's so much easier when you've got friends. Like, we are pack animals. You know, the human male is a pack animal by definition. Nobody survives alone. There's not one person on earth who can truly survive alone. Like, um, yeah, reliable mates. Yeah. I don't think they need. I don't think it's that much of a challenge, though. Like, I really don't think it's that much of a challenge. Like, today, I was just outside the Starbucks, and there was a couple of guys who were sat, and they were sat, and they were checking out girls as they were walking past today in the sunshine, and I was like, they look cool. And because I was sat right next to them, and I said something to the guy. I was like, "Excuse me, yeah, you from here? You from around this area?" Yeah, yeah. I was like, "What's it like over the summer period? Because I've been here well this month. I'm thinking of coming back." And he was just telling me about it and stuff. I got chatting to him, and he turned out he worked in the like the men's clothes shop which was next to the Starbucks. It was like it was just right there next to Starbucks, like Italian importers and stuff like that. I got chatting to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, when you come back, like give me a shout. I'll give you a discount on some stuff." I was like, "Really?" You have 5 or 6 conversations like that with some different guys that you're gonna be boys with some of these guys. They're gonna invite you to something, and then all of a sudden you've got a crew within, let's say, 3 months or something, and then you can really fucking roll. Then you don't even need to worry about the women. The women are just gonna be easy at that point, and it's like the real thing you need to establish first is male friendship and male camaraderie and a gang, basically, and a gang. That's the number one thing to establish. In any city, the guys who are getting chicks mostly not solo operators. Mostly not. It's mostly like at nightlife. It's super weird to go out without wings. It's super weird. Even me, as someone as experienced as me, when I go to night places alone, I feel a little bit fucking weird. I can do it. I've done it many times, but it's not particularly fun unless I really like the music. But like, it's much easier with friends. How do you know they're not rats? Why would they be rats, bruv? Why would they be rats? I don't understand. Why would they be rats? Why would it just the guy? There's no situation in which your paranoia doesn't make any doesn't. So I don't understand this, to be honest with you. How can someone take advantage of me? What can they do? This guy like will pull out a Uzi and rob me. He might do that, but he didn't. It's fairly easy. It's fairly easy to. I would say it's fairly easy to judge, and it's also like what angle would they even have to do something to me? That's what I don't really understand. Like, there's no angle to do. What can you do to me? You know, because I think you mentioned loaning a friend money. If my friend asked me for money, I would do a total due diligence on him, and I would consider the question like very seriously. I would 90%. It's never happened actually. No one's ever. Only one person has ever asked me for money, and that was literally something he paid me back on the same day. It was just some stupid thing that he needed $1,000 for, so he just paid me back the same day. Yeah, but Nico, you talk about money too much, bruv. Talk about money all the time, mate. That's why. If people don't know how much money you have, then they're not good. I guarantee you go around talking about how much money you've done. I guarantee you do. That's all right with some people, because some people are going to see that, and they're going to go, ah. I would keep that a bit more close to your chest, mate, to be honest. yeah. This is weird one, that one, because it's like I actually quite like to know personally. I'm like, okay, this guy. It's quite good to know. Like, okay, this guy is doing fucking well. Okay, how's he doing it? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's cool. I actually like to know that. But you've got to be careful on that, mate. You got to be careful on that one because, um, of course, people are going to be. Of course, people. If you're putting it out there, yeah, maybe it's the English way is like the English way is people don't talk about money. That's the English way. Realistically, they don't. It's fucking weird. It's a weird culture, like the middle class English way. People don't really talk about money. So yeah, but then you're being paranoid, people not paying rounds and stuff like that. I think you've been a bit paranoid there, dude. That might not be taking advantage of you, you know. Yeah, some people do that. I've got a friend who's a bit of a tight fucker, and I just never let him off anything. So he's one of my best friends, but I just never let him off anything. I never let him. He's a fucking tight bastard, but I don't mind, you know. Um, yeah, another friend of mine, he was out in the clubs in Monaco, and he was spending a normal amount of money out there. Yeah, the English, we don't talk about money. I don't know if it's good or bad, to be honest. I don't know. Um, yeah, as a typical thing, it's not part of the culture. It's kind of like not the done thing, should we say? But I don't know if it's is it good or bad? I don't know. Sometimes it's good to know, actually. But yeah, no one knows really what anyone else has got or doesn't have. No one really knows in England. You can't you don't really know. The only time you can see it is if someone is spending like £1,000 on a bottle, then you know they've probably got something. Um, you never really know though. You never really know. Um, there's a lot of guys who are fucking loaded who you would not have a clue. You would not have a clue. They're almost the guys like, they just you were like, "What?" Yeah, and he's actually absolutely fucking loaded. Um, yeah, it's interesting. They don't want to be they want to be inconspicuous actually. Um, yeah. But no, like you don't. I mean, my point stands on this. Like that's why you join the entourage as well, Richie. Is the desire to meet other guys. The desire to meet other guys. That's really, and that's we'll see that in Barca as well. Um, but just like for anyone, yeah, just for posterity's sake, that's the number one thing you need to be doing, is like establishing male networks. Um, that's actually more valuable. I think I said on a previous video, like one good wing, if he's really good and you're in the same city for let's say 3 years, that'll be like probably 10 different girls you'll shag, and there's probably a couple of girlfriends in there or one girlfriend, establishing at least one good wing. Um, yeah, but it's got to be. I mean, yeah, because you grew up as a lonely child, didn't you, Richie? I think for some guys it just might not be as natural, to do that. You may feel more comfortable as a solo operator. If that is the case, then you can leverage that. For me, I'm actually just not. I'm not. I mean, I can do it. I can do it, but I'm not that comfortable doing it. I actually, when I get into a place, like when I was last here, and I kind of fell out with this club I was here. I think that actually fucked me a little bit this time, or I fucked myself on that this time. I basically fell out with the main club promoter, or with the club promoter in the place that I go to here, but it's his fault. No, not the promoter, the manager. The other week, when I first got in, and so the club that I was going to before, I've not been to since that first week. So it's like that's one haven I was going to before. I don't have that now. Um, but I like to have like, okay, this is my club. These are my cafes. These are my two cafes that I go to. I speak to these people as nice familiar faces. I've got the streets. I can meet women in the streets. That's cool as well. But I like to have my little bases, and then ideally, even better is if I've got a crew. Minimum is to have my bases though. My gym, my cafes, my club. Those are my bases. Those are my basis points. If you've got a concierge in your building, always have a 5 minute chat with them. That's also good because it's social recognition. Someone knows you're alive. If you're just in a new city alone, you don't speak to anyone ever. It's fucking weird. And then you want to go out and speak to women. Like, just to me, priority number one is establish some territory, get to know a few guys, maybe some girls as well, but get to know a few local faces. And then after that, go to, get out into the streets and so on. Yeah, you want good mates, you need to be learn a bit. You're doing anger issues, huh? Um, yeah. See, yeah, I get that. I get that. I do get that. Um, but I think though, I think you semi show off about money, Richie. Um, I think you semi show off about it. But I'm not saying that I'm not critiquing you on this. I'm just saying I think you like to. In the same way I like to fucking show off I'm in a vest, do you know what I mean? I'm in good shape, yeah? It's natural. I think like men, we do show off about things. It's normal, right? But with money, it can be, you start saying that, or you start dropping little things here and there. You've got to be careful because some people think it's cool. Some people, like I love it. There's something. It also is a flag. It's a flag that you've got excess resources that some people might just want to take advantage of. Um, yeah, like my friend in Monaco. Anyway, I was going to a story about him, but he was down there. We were late 20s. He was starting to do all right by that point, but he'd be in a club every weekend and he'd be spending, he spent few hundred euros on a bottle every weekend, whatever, big deal. But he was out. There was a group. They were posing around, and they weren't that bad. Young professionals. What happens? A guy from Chechnya shows up. Yeah, my friend doesn't know anything about fucking Chechnya. He thinks this guy's cool. He's cool. He's a nice guy, and they start going back and forth. Next thing you know, they're doing business deals together. I don't need to tell you what happened next. um, so it's but the thing is, you know, that didn't happen to me. I would go to that club and I'd fucking spend, I hated it. I'd spend the minimum possible amount on a fucking can of Coke, which is like 30 euros. Um, and I'd go with my girlfriend and maybe just go to see my mate and then fuck off, you know. I don't want to spend money in a fucking club. Um, I've never attracted those types of people because I would never really want to be, well, I wouldn't want to waste that money. Even if I had that type of money where I was just dropping it, I could drop it. I can't, full disclosure, I can't spend £1,000 on a bottle of fucking vodka. Yeah, I'm not in that position in life. But I'm fine with that because actually I know for a fact this is another side to things. Just like this is the other side to, I would just say, kind of more, should we say, standard finances. Is this the other side to it? Is I know the girl who's fucking me. I know she likes me. I know she's turned on by me because I don't really have anything to lavish on her. There's no fucking bag of diamonds at the bottom of my, under at the bottom of my suitcase. I'm living out of a fucking suitcase in the Balkans, living off my laptop, the laptop lifestyle. So I know if a girl likes me, she likes me for me, which I think that's quite important as well. Like, it doesn't mean I still pay for drinks, I still pay for girls. I said at the start of the live, paying for girls' Ubers here and just make them feel looked after. Normal shit. But I'm not going down the route of I'm the pimp who's buying the bottles. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. It's too the money's too hard earned at the moment. I think if I do have once I get to that point, it will be I'll be spending it on something a bit more imaginative than a bottle. Yeah, how to be humble. It's like humble confidence. Yeah. So for you, I mean, it's weird though for you because like I think for you, Richie, your situation is like you've got a house in London, you've got a house in fucking Amsterdam, you just bought a house in Stockholm. You don't need to show fucking anything at this point. You just show up, you got nice clothes, you got a nice beard going on now. You can just fucking chill. Your situation speaks for itself. The girl will figure it out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you almost don't want to. You almost want to repel those types of girls who would want to take advantage of you. And the ones in Stockholm anyway, they're not going to be really gold diggers anyway. They've got money, they've got jobs. It's a rich country. Even if they go on the dole, they probably get paid like fucking 5 grand a month on the dole or something. So um, I think your situation will just speak for itself. Yeah, I think that's a good crowd for you. Um, yeah, it's yeah. When a girl's like asked me for money directly, I think every single time I've said no. I think every single time. Um, yeah, guys who sneak in as mates. Yeah. Do you think there's anyone in the entourage? I don't think there's anyone in the entourage, I would say, who would want anything to take advantage from you. Who would want to take advantage of you in any way. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think there is. I mean, who's currently there now? Like, what is like, is Balfour's going to try to fucking rip you off? Do you know what I mean? Am I going to try and rip you off? Is fucking Senator Winner? Is he going to try and fucking rinse you? It's not real. It's not real. They're sound guys. Um, so those guys are good. Um, sure, previous mates. And yeah. Um, yeah. What I would say with those friends though is I would say quality control. Quality control. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's guys like there's guys that I would know, for example, on the scene who there's guys I would know on the scene who I would not have them as like close friends, and I wouldn't go to. I would my friendship with like I don't know like let's say one club promoter or club owner, or guys who are out on a constant basis. I'm no, I'm quite cagey. I'm quite cagey. Um, I wasn't. No, I was not like, oh, we're all best mates, are we? No, not at all. Not at all. Within that scene, like I was circulating on a constant basis, and I had two or three like very close mates who were same profile as me, wanted to go out and have fun, wanted to get about it, but were intelligent and had professional things going on as well. So we were the same. Not getting involved in this guy who's selling drugs over there, or this guy who's a bit dodgy. I know all those guys, but I'm not getting involved in their shit. I'm not getting involved in any of that stuff at all. Um, and yeah, so I think having discernment. I think you probably weren't. Yeah, I think you probably weren't meeting enough people, mate. I would say as well. That's probably another part of your issue, which I think your club is going to fix. You do have to be very proactive, and these friends though they can last a lifetime. They can last a lifetime. Like I was speaking to Felipe today. He's going to be out in Santorini this summer working on boats. I could potentially go and see him. I've got good options to go and see the guy. Um, yeah, put my mate off he owes you cash. I would say he's not a friend, bruv. There was someone I owed a bit of money to from um, well, I'll say something. It's my brother. I owed him just a bit of money from basically when I was in Brazil. I got robbed. He just sent me some fucking money, and I tried to pay him back, and he wouldn't let me pay him back. And it wasn't much money, and he wouldn't let me pay him back. But I kept it separate. So I thought, at some point, I he's gonna at some point he's gonna need some money. I just know it. And so he calls me like a few weeks ago. Hey, like I know whatever. If you got it, if you don't have it, don't worry. I could use it. And I was like, yeah, I've been waiting for you to ask me for nearly 2 years. It'll be with you this afternoon. There you go. Transferred it straight away. So if someone, that's obviously my brother, so it's a different thing. But like, um, it should be just done, in my opinion. Um, nah, but then Nico, you shouldn't have owned it. You shouldn't have lent him money. Oh shit! I've just Richie, Richie Nikolai. You shouldn't have sent. You shouldn't have given the guy. I think it's just me. I think it's me, you, and SB on the live anyway. So, um, yeah, SB, you still on, mate? If you are, how's it gone with that German girl? If you are still on, um, I would go back to your Phil Parker on this one, bruv. Go back to your Phil Parker. Um, SB, what happened with the German girl? You were talking about her the other day, or when we messaged or something. There was a bit of a frisson with you and this Germania barbarian girl. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think meeting better. I think meeting more better quality people, Richie, was your issue. If you had good quality friends around you, let's say if you had, let's just say hypothetically, you had five guys from the entourage who were living on your road, just hypothetical, and you went to your social club with them, you went to the gym, you had and then you met another 20 guys of a similar caliber. Would that particular guy who did this, would you actually if even would you even give the guy the time of day? Yeah. Would you give the guy the time of day? I wonder if you would, to be honest. It's like the higher quality circles you move into, but just not like it's not like high quality like everyone's a fucking multi-millionaire or some bullshit. It's just like solid people. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think you're sociable. I just think something's been missing for you. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably mostly um I think it's mostly just finding people you have you ever had like let's say a few friends where it's just kind of I mean we've got good vibes, but have you had like across your life like friends where it's like you have a lot of resonance with that person like almost as soon as you meet them. Like have you ever had that? I think some people but you got to put yourself out there quite a lot to find that. Um but like yeah. Um Because you moved around a lot as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? You moved multiple different countries. Um, oh, okay, okay. So SB's coming back. Okay, okay. So the German girl, her boyfriend's. Oh, mate. Okay. So he's an IT guy. She's an adventure girl. Hmm. Interesting. You could definitely lay it on her. You know, see if anything comes of it. But yeah, okay, if she's got a boyfriend, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? But yeah, she might break up with him. She might fall in love with you. Um, that's amazing. Amazing fucking job you're doing out there, man. Yeah, these guys ripping you off. See, you say that like you are a victim in it, but bruv, no one's ever really ripped me off for money, to be honest. not friends anyway. I've probably done things where I should have made money for someone else and I should have made more, but it's not like that was when I was a promoter, but it's not like they didn't rip me off. I didn't lose money. I got paid an ass, basically. They gave me a club, essentially. So like I got paid. I got paid. But I know there's a guy I probably made him in excess of I actually don't know. I actually couldn't tell you. I've definitely made him in excess of 20 grand. Um, and I did not see a significant share of that at all. But I got paid. Um, yeah, and I think if I'd done it, to be honest, that was why I could pull it off. That's why I got access to an entire club and got my own night because I was like, dude, I can fill your club. I don't even really like I just want some basic expenses, yeah. I don't give a shit about like getting rich off it. I've already got my own business, yeah. What I want to do is build a crazy ass social life. So I got paid in a different way, but I wouldn't say that was being ripped off. But yeah, if you're not setting boundaries, yeah, um, yeah, breaking rapport with people, breaking rapport with people who are acting like that. There's girls who's asked me for money and straight I'm just a straight up no. And they'll tell me they've got some problem. This is how a girl will ask you for money. Hey, I've got something to tell you. I've got a secret to tell you. The fuck? And then you call them later on, what's this thing you've got to tell me? And they're like, well, and then you're like, okay, so you're asking me for money. The answer's no. Bye. You know, oh, but yeah, this not my problem. Yeah. Um, and like they'll try it on. Even quite good girls sometimes will try that on. Um, not off. Sometimes they genuinely need it, and that's actually fair enough if they ask me and they genuinely need it, and I'll say no. Um, there's been a few girls like I'd say like there's two Dominican girls I've paid for medical treatment for them, but like pretty minor, like 100 quid. Um, and I was like, yeah, fair enough. You earn 700 euros a month. That's fine. What you need a new thing medical, this skin thing. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get it. That's fine. The girl literally like fucking cooks for me every night. She cleans my fucking apartment. It's fine. 100 quid. Have it. Um, sensitive to guilt tripping. Interesting. Yeah. I wonder, Richie, for you. I wonder if it might be worth you doing, let's say, not a long period, because I don't believe in it. I think it has very bad results. But should we say a 5 week period of some type of therapy or psychotherapy or psychoanalytics? Because some of these things that you're talking about, the types of things you talk about, they sound like complexes, which if you could just identify them, then at least you've got a register of where they are, and you can use whatever techniques you want to use. You can use Phil Parker, you can just use your own logical mind, you can use whatever on them. I do think there's value. I like long term, all this therapy and stuff, I think has got a very bad track record, especially like medical drugs and stuff. But just a basic thing where you go back in and you go, right, this is my problem. This always fucking happens. I'm doing this over and over again. And they go, okay, interesting. And then you go into it a little bit more. I do wonder if that might actually be helpful for you. Um, there's a few people I know who've been in at a certain point, like there's like an ex-girlfriend of mine, she went in for some stuff and it was like 5 6 weeks and like she had to, and it helped. It helped her a lot. Um, yeah, I've done different things like that. I've done different things like that, and as long as you're in and out, you need to fucking. I don't believe in this every week you go because I think then you're just jacking yourself off. Um, but I wonder with you, I think there's all like some complexes going on. Yeah. You can do it all yourself. Do you think that might be a complex? Wait, let's have a look to what SB said here. So, um, okay, so the boyfriend, yeah. I thought I had a chance. Bring her back to my place, drinking, doing sauna. She's next to me. We talk about everything. Nah. I think you're overthinking there, mate. I don't think she's using you. I know what you're saying. She lives. Maybe she tries to visit you. Okay, here's what you do in your situation. If she's got a boyfriend at the end of the day, she's got a boyfriend. She's got a boyfriend. If she's not like getting with you or whatever, that's actually good. What it means is she's a good girl. Yeah, maybe you could lay it on her more and maybe you could seduce her, but she hasn't thrown herself at you and it's not been too easy, right? But she's got a boyfriend. Fine. Basically what you do now is just decide, okay, do I still want to be mates with this girl? Is that cool? If yes, continue. Or am I purely interested in her as a sexual kind of thing? And if not, then you kind of like you just distance yourself and that's it really. But it sounds like she's all right, to be honest with you. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you got too close. Maybe she felt a bit tempted, mate. I think she'd have felt a bit tempted. You're having a sauna together. We talk about everything. Yeah, probably less talk. I think with that, it's almost like you want less talk and more action, to be honest, there. Yeah. Um, yeah, you don't want to talk too much before you get with it. It's kind of moot though with this girl because she's got a boyfriend. It's kind of moot, innit? It doesn't really matter. But in general, you don't want to talk too much. You want to get moving, you know. Um, yeah, you can be there. That sounds fine. Sounds like you're dealing with it fine. Well, it's still interesting. Still interesting little story. Flirting with a German girl. Um, what's the plans after? What are the plans after Lapland? Because remember you were talking maybe going to Austria or something. I can't remember. This is how blasé my fucking life is. My apartment is a total fucking shit tip right now. I'm like in the middle of packing, right? It's fucking little communist the apartment. It's so fucking shit. But it's weirdly got everything I need in it. Like it's typically designed by a man. Like there's no frills on anything. Everything works perfectly. High speed internet. Everything is fucking perfect. And it's like 20 meters from the largest cathedral in Serbia, in Vracar. It's amazing. Um, Back home after Sweden, you've got to be out of the EU for at least 3 months. Okay, so it's April. Yeah, so what? April, June, May, June, July. Yeah. Well, mate, if you fancy a little mission down to Albania at some point, come hang out in Tirana. Um, yeah, we should talk about. We'll message on Insta. But yeah, we should do something this summer. Um, I'll probably go back to the UK for the whole of April, I think. I think that's the plan. Maybe May as well, although maybe not. I usually think I'm going to go back for 8 weeks and I end up hating it after like about a month. But um, yeah, maybe April, May, but definitely June, July, August for sure. I'm out of the UK for sure. And most likely come back out to the Balkans, recharge, you know. Um, and then yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm the stuff I'm up for. I'm definitely up for. I'm up for coming back to Belgrade in the summer. I think it could be fucking good. Um, I'm probably up for Albania as well. Uh, it's yeah, maybe the beach in Albania or something. Even Macedonia, man. Like I'd fucking go back to Macedonia. Banja Luka, mate. We still haven't hit Banja Luka. What do you reckon to Banja Luka in September when the students are coming back? I'll be nearly 40. Will be I will be pushing the last rodeo on Freshers Week for sure. The 40-year-old fresher. Yeah, that could be cool. Um, like that film Old School. You know, there's like the 40-year-old or whatever, Frank the Tank. They go back to university. But yeah, Banja Luka. I don't know why those girls and everything I've heard about that place. I'm like, is it really what people say it is? I believe that it is actually. Um, yeah, summer's good there, is it? Oh mate, I'm tempted, dude. I'm tempted on Banju. I don't know, man. There's good options, aren't there? There's good options. Um, I think if I come back to, you know, what with Belgrade, man, some of the fucking girls I've seen out here. Gee, I saw a girl today at the bus stop, and I should have approached her, but I'm like, I'll puss it out. I was just like, I give myself excuses, and sometimes it's a fair excuse. Like, for example, bruv, you're going to fucking Barcelona tomorrow. You haven't even packed, you idiot. I've not even got a hotel at this point for tomorrow night. So I don't even know where I'm sleeping tomorrow night. And I've not packed. And I'm leaving in like 12 hours. And I'm on a live instead of packing. But I saw a girl today at the bus stop. I saw a lot of fit girls today. A lot of fit girls. There's one at the bus stop I saw today. And I was like, I've never seen a girl with a face like I've never seen a girl in Western Europe with a face like that. Her face was like completely insane. I've never they've got very chiseled faces out here. It's it's kind of like a cross between a they've got the chiseled aspect of some black girls and mixed race girls, but still with the features of a white girl, but like very chiseled. Um, but like fine, like very finely chiseled as well. Um, But yeah, I definitely want to try and get wings out. Like, so be yourself. I'm gonna try and get maybe one of the guys in the entourage out as well. Balthus, if he can come out, he expressed an interest. Um, some of the boys are talking about Poland, but and like it's Poland will be sick. But I was looking at the girls in Poland, and I was like, they all just remind me of my cleaners. I've had loads of Polish cleaners over the years, and I'm like, you just remind me of the 20 Polish cleaners that I've employed. It just doesn't turn me on at all. Even though they are quite fit, to be honest, but I've just got this association of a cleaner, so just I can't get over it. Um, all about summer in the Balkans, yeah. Well, that's going to be the plan then. So I'll go back for Easter time and then come back out. Um, yeah, that's going to be the plan. Um, we could look into Banju. We can look into yeah, yeah. I would be the same. For me, Poland. I was looking and I was like, the girls just I can't. They're definitely for me. They're not as fit as Serbian girls. I was looking at a load of photos and videos and stuff. I was like, they're not even close to Serbian girls. They're not. For me personally, they just look like cleaners. I'm sorry. But yeah, the socials exactly socials. For me, May's going to be a heavy month, so that's why I was kind of like, should I just stay in the UK April, May, just fucking stay there? Um, yeah. Um, so there we go. So yeah, the live is we'll wind it down. Um, no, we know your type, mate. We know your type. To be fair, I had a look the other day. I was looking at Stockholm nightlife. It's fucking beastly, dude. It's beastly. This is good. There's just too. Here's the thing: is for guys who cold approach, like, here's the actual truth: is if you've got a passport and you've got online money and you can approach and you've got at least one wing. The problem is there's too many chicks. That's actually the problem, and that's why I started to try to. Well, that's why particularly this year. That's why I want to share as much as I've got on these lives. That's why I want to help guys in the entourage. What difference does it make to me? I don't like. What am I supposed to do? Like have 700 wives? I can't fuck every girl in the Balkans. I can't get with every girl in Brazil, Dominican Republic, UK, Portugal. You can basically get with a few girls, yeah, and then over a period of time, over many years, you accumulate experience. But why not help other guys? Why not help everyone else? Let's get these guys enjoying their lives, and then when they get experience, they can pass it on as well. Croatian seaside, Hvar and Dresi Islands, basically Balkans, Ibiza. Oh, mate. Now we're talking. It's got expensive. Wait, let me. Can you message me those in on Insta? We could look into that, dude. Yeah, we need a reliable wing in Sweden. SB and Richie. I will introduce you guys to each other. You guys would wing pretty well actually. Me, Richie, and SB together would be so fucking dangerous. It would be so fucking dangerous. This fucking Bosnian, fucking international man of mystery. Who does this guy work for? Yeah, does he work for the Dot? Does he work for MI6? Does he work for FSB? We don't fucking know who this guy is. Yeah. Trying to think who would be my ideal wingman on Earth. You know who I'd like to go out on a night out with? Who I think will be fucking interesting? This is really random. I'd actually love to go on a night out. Maybe this tells you the type of person I am right now. I'd love to go out with Will Smith around like Miami, or Latin America, right? And just try and pry him away from his bitch fucking wife and just remind him, like, dude, you're Will fucking Smith, yeah? And also, like, he's an absolute banter artist as well. Yeah, that would be like, I'd love to wing Will Smith. If you need a fucking wing bro, and you do, by the way, you need to sort your life out because you're fucking weird bitch, fucking grandma wife, horrific, who humiliates you on a constant basis, yeah? Despite all of that, dude, you have no idea what you could be getting, dude. It would be insanity what you could be getting. Can you imagine if you just bin that bitch off? Yeah, secret background. Yeah, after 2 years, you get to change your job and move any place down in major cities. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else on tonight? Oh mate, I'll have to introduce you boys. You definitely get on. Richie's like the only person, I suppose, entourage-wise, that I can talk about the Slavic side of things with. He's very well-travelled European man, but it's also experience as well. Obviously, you've got a lot of experience in the old country. I'm quite interested in. If they wind it down as well, I'm going, dude. I'm going out to the old country. If they wind it down, yeah. Yeah. I'm in a weird point, like relationship-wise. Like people talk about, yeah. Weird point relationship-wise. I'm seeing a girl I was on the phone to before in the DR. She got back in touch with me, and it's like, you have a certain amount of sex with someone, and it's like you've kind of scarred yourself for life. That's what I'm like with this girl. She's not my normal type either. She's a real skinny little thing, but fucking, I'm used to more curvy girls, but then this skinny little one. It sounds fucked up, but I felt like a complete barbarian compared to her. So it was a different type of sex I've not had probably for a long time. I was like a Pakistani girl, but she was like so petite and skinny. It was a different thing. So I got her burnt into my mind. She knows how to manipulate me as well, but in such a subtle way, but it's very good. Like she knows how to be around me. I met her in Cold Approach, and then another girl I'm actually fucking in love with. Like genuinely, my soul bleeds every fucking day, and she lives in Madrid. Um, and she messaged me out of the blue this week, and saying she never wants to speak to me again. Then she blocked me, and then I emailed her. That's a weird one. So yeah, it's a weird. I'm literally in love with a girl I barely fucking see. I've not seen her for like 18 months. Um, and then yeah, there's even a girl in Barca who wants to see me in Barca, but I've not fucking got over her. It sounds like I'm bragging, but it's more like it's not actually a brag. It's not at all actually. It's more like yeah. I think it's like Tate actually said this. He's like, yeah, dude, he's like people talking about breakups, and he's like, he goes through a breakup every week, and it's kind of like I kind of get what he's talking about, but um, yeah, this last couple of weeks been heavy on that front. Maybe that's affected me in the approach a little bit as well, actually. Um, yeah, let's go to lap plans. Viking vibes, dude. I'm on it. I'm on it. As the thing with the, as long as the place is a reasonable cost, like, because I'm a remote worker. This was the thing with actually that links to that girl, the one who lives in Madrid. I went to visit her, and it was like I spent like 1,200 quid in 2 weeks just on the apartment, and then on like going out, I spent like 2 grand in 2 weeks. I'm like, I just straight. This is just brutal. Yeah, I'm like, you know, my situation is what it is. Yeah, I'm not a fucking Richie. Yeah, I'm not Richie. Yeah, but like I'm, I can do what I can do. Right, I can go in most places in the world. Um, I was like, man, if I move to that city with this girl, there's literally no point me being a remote worker. I may as well just get a job there. The whole point of being a remote worker is to arbitrage it. So you earn a decent, like, you earn as much as you possibly can. But then like you go somewhere where you can get good deals, you can get a good flat, you can get hot girls, you can get it on the low, or you get it on a lower rate. It's what Tate did. What the fuck's he living in Romania? Yeah, he's not living in Romania, in rural Romania. He's living like fucking Transylvania. Um, so Stockholm's expensive. Yeah, I think I had a look at it. You know what, man? I think actually Madrid honestly was probably more expensive than Stockholm from what I was seeing. Um, in Barca, I've managed to get an all right. I've got a place. I think 5 days for €600, which is like, you know, tomorrow night I've got nowhere, but from Saturday I've got a place for 5 days for 600, which is actually not bad in the centre. Um, so anyway, that's just a one-off. That's just a Barca thing. But I can't be fucking doing. I can't be like, okay, it's a one-off to go meet the boys. But yeah, if I lived there, I'd have to find a more effective, because I don't know what's that, 2.5 grand a month. Like fuck that. Um, yeah, yeah, that's fine. 60 quid a night is fine. What's that end up being? Yeah, then you do it at the end of the month, and you're like, that was 1,800 a month. Then you're starting to look at it and go, yeah. But yeah, on a short trip, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, like a weekend or a week or something. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, I would say my greatest value I've ever had was that there's a place I go to in Santo Domingo, which is on the edge of the colonial zone, which is like literally was created by Christopher Columbus. You can go to see Christopher Columbus and his son's house. It's dementedly cool. Um, with the most ass that I've ever seen in one place on a Saturday or on a Sunday afternoon. Holy crap. Holy shite. And like music, like bachata and salsa playing on a Sunday outside, and in the Caribbean, on the sea as well. It's unfathomable location, and it's not cheap, but it's not like it's more expensive than like fucking Belgrade, but like considering the quality of life, it's fucking unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable. Yeah. That's what I find mental. I'm like, it's cheaper to live in the Caribbean than it is to live in Sheffield. Why the fuck would I live there? Why would I live it's the same cost to live in the Caribbean as it is to live in Barnsley. What the fuck is going on in this world? Yeah. Republika Srpska in Sarajevo was fucking cheap, man. That was one of the best flats I had for the lowest prices. And then also, yeah, actually both sides of Sarajevo, both the Bosnia side and then the Republika Srpska side. That was fucking amazing. Like good quality apartments. Macedonia was fucking great. Serbia's pretty cheap as well. Macedonia's 10% tax rate as well. Yeah. Right, boys, we'll have to leave it. It's good to see you guys connecting and getting to know each other. I'm absolutely fucked. Before I sleep, I've got to pack my bag. Next live, I don't know if I'll do a lot. Probably won't do a live next week, to be fair, because I'll be out. It's going to be maybe we'll do a short live during the immersion. Going to be meeting the old entourage tomorrow or Saturday, and then we'll get moving from there. So, peace and love. Take it easy, Richie. Don't work yourself too hard. Enjoy your your Viking brides. Well, I mean, it's all go in it really. It's all go. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Take it easy, SB. Good to see you, mate. Enjoy Lapland, and yeah, message me on that stuff on Insta, and like we'll yeah, let's do some Balkan shit this summer, man. Let's do some Balkan gangster shit this summer. Take it easy, boys.